Each month, myself and other Irrational Passions members will play through a new game. Modern to retro, obscure to popular. Games we've played before and those we haven't. We'll be hitting checkpoints as we go and discussing our experiences. Play along with us and join in the discussion. This is Video Game Book Club. Welcome, everybody, back to Video Game Book Club. I am once again your host, Scott, and we depart the waves of rapture for the plains, deserts, and white acropolises of Selenia? I think that's how you pronounce it. Soliana, there we go. With the fantastical disaster that is Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. And this time I am joined with the input crew. Well, this episode, most of the input crew. Mr. Jurge Cruz returning to us after a bit of a hiatus. He had to go and graduate college or something, I hear. How are you doing, George?
I am doing okay. You know, I'm upset that Logan Wilkinson's not here, but you know, it's fine. We will move on. I'm sure this is his favorite video game of all time, so that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know him very well, and I think he would say this is better at storytelling than The Last of Us. Better action than something like, I don't know, Contra. I don't know what that kid likes.
I think after seeing how passionate he felt about BioShock 1 and 2, I think this game would easily eclipse BioShock 1 and 2 in terms of his favorite games.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
I think he would just rave about it.
Has it been since Super Hot since I've been on here? Is Super Hot the last thing I was on?
I think so, because you weren't on Thimbleweed. You weren't on Ori. So yeah, this is the first return, and also back from Super Hot days, and the first actual main video game book club. Mr. Jarrett Green, how's it going?
What a fucking mistake I made.
Yeah, you did, but you're here now, so
I'm here. I've already made it, so.
Yep, you've already committed.
More committed than some others, some would say.
Some would say. The silence would say nothing. But you know what it meant.
Uh-huh.
I hear you. Well, yes, everybody, we are attempting to play through Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 and other games. You know, a lot of games came out in 2006. And as we do here on Video Game Book Club, the first episode of each series of game, or game series, we'll say, of a new title, I take a look back at other games that came out in the year 2006, which happens to be the year I graduated from high school. So I feel old now, but a lot of good games came out in 2006. We were starting a brand new console generation. We were, the Xbox had come out the winter previously in 2005. So this year we were treated to the original Gears of War. The original Gears of War came out. So big burly dudes and cover shooters.
The real next gen year,
yeah,
we're getting.
Yeah, that was the first all right, this is the next gen launch game that's gonna change the way we play.
Yeah,
particular genres of video games.
It pretty much made cover shooters a big thing. Yeah.
Before that, it was Kill Switch. I think was the first cover shooter like that. But this was the first one that was good.
Yeah, and blew up the market, and then everybody had to make a cover-based shooter.
I remember Kill Switch being okay and looking good.
It was okay for a time. It did look good, and it had a weird motif that would go on to be co-opted everywhere, but for the time it was a weird almost Metal Gear Solid-y feel, but it had the the surrogates sort of storyline. It was neat in concept, just in execution it was a mid-tier PS2.
Dead Rising came out and showed us that started the whole zombie craze boom.
I think in the order of these games, we're looking at next gen, I think Dead Rising was the one that came out the earliest out of all these. I think that was one all right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was the game. If the next generation of this time in 2006 was the HD era, this was the harbinger of that, because this is the game. Yo, I can't read this text on my fucking 480p TV.
Oh, I remember how that text on a standard def TV was god awful. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. And that's before people had high def TVs, so everyone bought their 360s and were like, "Oh man, Dead Rising, this is probably cool," and couldn't read a single thing about that game.
Yep.
Kind of a fun premise, though. It was kind of a fun game. I did enjoy it.
It's also very esoteric. Like, there's a story, but it's not telling you it really. You kind of have to go do stuff and like really get involved in it to know what's going on. I remember playing with a friend of mine who bought it and spent hours running around not knowing what to do instead of just killing zombies because he didn't know he had to go trigger events by being in certain places at certain times.
Yeah, it was a bit convoluted at times with that. But then eventually you unlock like the survival mode, just see how long you could last with the 24-hour thing. That was always kind of cool. We got the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. We had our gritty, dark, mature-looking Zelda game everyone had been hoping for since the GameCube was revealed. Finally got that.
A lot of people also regretted it.
I liked Twilight Princess. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's better than Wind Waker, but I enjoyed Twilight Princess. It was very good. Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out and blew a lot of people's minds. That was a good game. With Patrick Stewart voicing the king.
I think Oblivion is one of those games. It's not quite like the Metal Gear Solid 2 of the series, but it's a game I think people look back on and appreciate more now. Because it was like a kind of a wild story. Because Skyrim is kind of like a straightforward story, and more straightforward than really many other Elder Scrolls games. Because Morrowind definitely isn't. But Oblivion is like a weird sort of conversation about like the perils of trying to be the cosmopolitan every state versus like encroaching sort of colonizers that might be from other dimensions or also maybe just elves from a different country. Like it was very like politically heavy. And
plus you kind of had Elder Scrolls Jesus with Martin Septim who had to
you definitely did.
Died for your sins kind of thing and save everybody. Okami came out and was beautiful.
Yes.
That was a very good one.
PS2 game.
Yeah, that was a good PS2 game. Mother 3 came out in Japan. Still don't have that here. But one day, I'm still holding out hope. One day. Officially coming out here because there's a really good fan translation of it. Saints Row busted out into the scene to give Grand Theft Auto some a run for its money. Definitely a fun, kind of crazy game that got better as the series went on.
I don't think the first Saints Row was really all that crazy.
No.
It wasn't really till 3 they got super crazy. 2 got interesting and like actually different than GTA.
Yeah.
But 1 was like basically GTA.
I think it still had what's his name as the lead voice actor. What's his name? He voices the Arbiter in Halo 2. He would have returned in Saints Row for 4.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was still
actually no. It's what's his name? It's Keith David.
Keith David, yes. Keith David.
That's it. I feel like the first Saints Row was still trying to think of itself as we're beating Rockstar to the next generation.
Yes.
Grand Theft Auto.
100%. Like, yeah, we're gonna fulfill that need you guys for like petty crime in the streets, but make a really quick version of GTA.
Yeah. You could create your character though. That was cool.
Yeah, it had some cool stuff to it. I enjoyed kind of the gang stuff you could do, and
it was very much half baked though.
Yes. I think a lot of the early Xbox and that gen platforms could be set for.
Hey, Cameo was great. Still great.
True. Wow. Rare Replay now on Xbox Game Pass. Call of Duty 3 came out. We were still in World War II. We had not yet jumped to modern day, not to be confused with the modern warfare that's coming out this year.
I was going to say this is the first one not done by Infinity Ward, but that would have been a lie because there was like Big Red 1 on
my power's flickering. Okay.
Are we good?
I think we're safe.
Okay. But yeah, like that I was going to say like this was definitely the awkward one. This is the Call of Duty that launched in the PS3. It was not as good. I know some folks actually the next year got Call of Duty 4, but instead like asked it for Christmas and actually got Call of Duty 3. Those folks.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Oof.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
A little bit. As this, I hadn't realized this until I made this list, but we got 2 Tales of games in 2006. We got Tales of Legendia, and and Tales of the Abyss, which is very, very good, one of my
That
favorites.
seems like a lot of tales in one year.
I know.
To be fair, one of them is like sort of like they
Yeah.
came to the party too. I guess I don't know. You could say hi to them.
Do they all get made by the same studio?
Yeah. Well, there's like 2 groups as part of the Tales studio. Like Legendia was like Project Falfest or something, and it was like a separate, because there's like a Destiny team and then a Fantasia team.
Because before this,
Or
it would have been a Symphonia on the GameCube, right?
No, actually before Legendia, it was... Actually, no, I think between Legendia and Abyss was Tales of Rebirth, which we never got, which is a shame. But yes, before Legendia was Symphonia.
I thought so, because that was a
Yes.
GameCube business game, yeah. Alright.
And the last game on this list, and I had to add it because it just was so topical, Shadow Hearts from the New World came out. And my brand new sealed copy of this came in the mail today, so I felt I had to add it.
Was that published by Midway?
Xseed. At this point, it was
published the
Xseed.
one before it, I think.
Yes, I think the first 2, or at least the first one I know, was published by Midway.
That was a weird one. I remember that because it was like on the back of a Mortal Kombat fucking Deadly Alliance. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
It's like, what is this bullshit?
Yeah.
And it's like a sequel to like a cultish
Yeah,
PlayStation
I'll play
1
that.
game called
Delca.
Yeah.
I'll play that.
I have not played that one yet, but I have played Shadow Hearts, and it's a really kind of cool Victorian Gothic-esque
Yeah.
RPG. So
And like
try
alternate
it.
history.
yeah, you have to fight
Shadow
Rasputin.
Yeah,
In
and
the
the second
first
you
game.
fight Rasputin several times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rasputin just won't die.
There is one game missing here from the year prior that will be important for our story here, though.
Oh, please share.
Yeah, so obviously, if this is your first video game book club, obviously, like Scott said, we did this to give context for when the games came out, and obviously we're at a point right now where we're at a new generation. The Xbox 360 is already out for a minute, and these games are slowly coming out in 2006. The video game we'll be talking about today, it came out like the holiday of this year. So at this point,
Yeah.
you already played Oblivion. At this
Mhm.
point, you already played Gears of War. At this point, you already played Dead Rising. But in 2005, Sonic Team put out Shadow the Hedgehog. And so that game is important because, one, it's funny that it's a funny video game. But also, this game was the game prior to this one. So we're telling the story of Sonic 06 is supposed to be a big new Sonic game. This is the new start for Sonic. We're just calling it Sonic the Hedgehog Doom 2016. This is the new rebirth of Sonic. They had 1 year to make this video game. Yeah, so that'll set the stage for where we're heading to. And also, I think a lot of these games, because I don't think Oblivion on PS3 came out that same year. I think it maybe came out like later, because the PS3 was not the best console to develop for.
Oh, no, it was not.
Yes, so we here will be playing the PS3 version of Sonic 06.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I think the context is important about the time it takes to make Sonic the Hedgehog from Shadow the Hedgehog, because
Yes.
the space between, like, the game, if correct me if I'm wrong, but the game prior to Shadow the Hedgehog is Sonic Adventure 2 in like 2001, right?
No, it was Sonic Heroes.
There was yeah, you're right. There was Sonic Heroes.
Development started on Sonic 06 in 2004.
Did it?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And in an interesting note, led by Sonic co-creator Yuji Naka, Sonic
left.
Team sought to create an appealing game in the vein of superhero films like Batman Begins, hoping it would advance the series with a realistic tone in multiple gameplay styles.
Wrong.
So,
Well, they started it. They had Shadow in the middle, so that they probably knew, like, hey, his 15th birthday's coming up. We should probably
mhm.
new consoles are coming up as well. Well, man, there's just a bunch of stuff, because not only that, they're making Sonic Free Rider, Sonic whatever that Sonic Riders, Sonic and the Secret Rings would later come out because they wanted to make a Wii Sonic for 06. Nope. They're like, this is not gonna happen, guys.
Yeah.
Here we are. Sonic
Yes.
the Hedgehog 2006.
Yes, here we are, and let me just give a brief rundown of the happenings from this checkpoint, which was to play up through Sonic's story up through Crisis City. Now, we start off with, I have to say, the intro cinematic for the time. I thought it was kind of cool. It's like, okay, it's got some cool stuff. Robotnik kind of looks a little strange. I think it's strange.
That's the thing I would present to a bunch of people in a boardroom.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, here's the thing we're making.
Yeah. I thought it was strange Robotnik addressed himself as Dr. Eggman because I thought that was just Sonic's nickname for him.
Yeah, it got weird at a while.
But that's the least of this game's worries. He attacks the capital city while they're lighting the Olympic torch, and
the eternal flame.
Yeah, that's a very video game sounding thing.
Yeah.
Goes to kid.
There has never been a more video game-ass thing than the eternal flame.
Goes and tries to kidnap the Princess Elise, but Sonic appears because, of course, he does, and picks her up and runs away. She has no idea who he is or why he's doing it, but Sonic's just like, because. But she gets taken away anyway. So
I mean, he gets let's introduce a new generation to this character. This whole like, it's the most pomp and circumstance like introduction. Like, it's like, oh, I'm the bad guy here. There's no way you can escape. And it's like, hey guys, whoa! And he's got that little circle. Let me tell you what, George Cruz, young little lad in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, lost his goddamn mind when they revealed this fucking trailer. Just because this is one of the early trailers, like, here's the intro cutscene. And man, it is a bill of goods, huh?
Yeah,
sure is.
It nails Sonic pretty good.
You see our new character in this as well.
Yeah, Princess Elise, and then the mysterious silver hedgehog is mumbling some pronouns that only a video game character can mumble.
Iblis Trigger.
That's some like Japanese RPG level pronoun goodness right
This is
there.
an Arby's drive-through.
But after this cutscene, that was pretty cool. Everything goes downhill very quickly. The game starts, you flip in, and you're treated to incredibly bland and flat colors and environments and horrific-looking NPCs that kind of moan at you. And you have to get rings so you can buy an item. So a friendly, scary-looking shoemaker gives you a quest, and you have to run through some rings. I got some Superman 64 vibes from this part, but luckily it doesn't last too long. Oh, excuse me. You talk to the shoemaker, you accept the quest, loading screen. You'd hear about the quest, you accept the quest, loading screen. You load into the thing, jump through rings, loading screen, and then you can buy your item that lets you dash along trails of rings.
Yeah.
They're just so abrupt.
It is very abrupt, and like, all that is bad. But the thing with Sonic 06, and I think Jarrett, maybe the thing is like, how do I regret every decision I ever made? As soon as you move the analog stick, something is wrong.
Yeah.
As soon as you move around.
The weirdest shit, like, the up and down axis are not reversed. The side-to-side axis is. And there's literally no way to change it. So you're running around and trying to keep up with like the direction you're moving, but you can't because every single time you touch the stick, you're like, this will make sense, and it never makes sense. And the panning speed is so slow that like Sonic is running way faster than you can even see where he's going. And like you literally have to like stop every little while just to like recenter yourself.
Oh yeah.
To make sure you're running the right direction.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And then I especially love it sometimes when the camera will just reverse sides on you, like which direction it's facing.
Yeah, just because. And you're like, okay.
Oh, okay. I keep running across that little bridge right there, back and forth, getting caught between pillars and camera shifting back and forth. It was...
And the game can definitely not handle what is going on screen. So not only, like Jarrett said, is the camera sometimes having trouble keeping up with Sonic, but the frame rate, the game is buckling on itself just at the weirdest spots. So like you turn a corner and it's all like, ah.
Yeah, it has like 3 textures and still can't handle it, and I don't understand.
Yeah, it chucks pretty good. And if you jump, it's like a Matrix jump where you're doing really slow turns in the air.
And the weird Man, you remember Grand Theft Auto 4 came out and like they're showing the E3 and they're showing the Euphoria engine and they're like, look at Nico Bellic. When he stands on the curb, one foot is on the curb and the other is on the street. That's crazy. In this game, the curbs just completely tilt shift Sonic's position in space.
Yeah.
He just like starts planking on it sideways.
Planking before it was cool, man. Sonic 06.
And I love the animations because he's running, and I mean, it happens in lots of games where the run animations, like the feet, don't match up to like the steps you're taking on the ground. But every time Sonic's running just like a little faster than walking, he clearly isn't even near the ground. He's like floating over the ground.
Oh yeah.
And when you spin up and attempt to do like the sound you make sounds like you're going faster, but you're still you're spinning at a speed that's like remarkably slow for the sound effect you're getting.
Yeah.
And then you move at a speed when you let go that's not much faster than Sonic running.
We
Like, I
also
don't even
have
know why I
Tails.
wasted
We're
time.
introduced to the wonderful Tails, everyone's favorite character.
Yeah.
Who's in grand tradition, his probably the biggest joke played on the character of Tails, who was always like, "Oh, you can be the second player if you want to fucking hate a person, if you hate your good friend or brother or sister." Now he'll just commit suicide regularly.
Oh, in the part where you had to slide under to save the girl who's on a roof, I hadn't gotten the ability yet. He just was walking straight into the wall.
Oh yes, I remember this. The one where he's like flying into the wall. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
It's like, oh,
What's
where are you
even
going?
better shit is when you not even when you slide, like when you're the first time you get the first item, so you can like jump around like across ring rows. You can do that, but Tails can't.
No, he can't.
So you just do it, and Tails like I guess attempts to fly, and then just falls and just dies. And
You
like,
just hear him
can't
like,
turn-
no.
Yeah, you
The
can't turn the
laugh.
camera fast enough to see him die. You just kind of like hear him die.
It's like the longest and like, cause it's like they added like a natural fade out because you assume he like fell, and so it's just like, it sounds like he's getting more distant and distant. It's the best.
But
To our first level.
But yes, we go into the wave ocean where Sonic runs a bit, hops on a whale, and then Tails has to close the
Egg
gate.
carrier has a lease. He's trying to capture. He's trying to catch up with the egg carrier.
Yes.
Duh.
I thought he was just running from that. I don't remember that having to deal with the whale though.
No, not the whale. He's capturing the egg carrier. The whale's
Okay,
the
it's
fucking
just-
dumb
The whale's just in the way.
Sega
Yeah.
Dreamcast callback.
So Sonic mounts the whale. Tails has to, and the first time you if I remember this correctly, the first time you control Tails is when you have to close the gate SeaWorld
Yes.
style to keep the whale from freedom. And
For some reason, yeah,
Yeah.
the whale
After
can't
you
leave.
close it, it's like because he's in the other side, I
Yeah.
believe, right?
no,
No, you guys are walking the same direction.
Yeah.
Sonic's in
Right,
the
you're
water
like
and you're on the island. And you
Bull
can
riding
see
the
him.
whale, right?
Yeah.
And he's going up and down and up and down.
yeah, and you don't even close the gate all the way. It's like the whale could just swim under. I mean, there's still a bunch of space, but yeah, apparently Tails just has a gratuitous amount of small explosives. Like with the fake rings, I don't get why they're fake.
my
They have the
God.
fake rings.
An idea.
And like they
that
look
you just
literally
drop.
no different than real rings. So like if you
No.
lose your rings, it's just a bunch of rings and half of them are fake.
Yeah,
And the frame rate is
Yeah.
dying.
I don't get the okay, he has explosives, but the enemies don't use rings, so why have him drop fake ring bombs?
Because bombs have
I
lots
don't-
of kinetic energy that both keep you alive
Huh?
and can be used as weapons.
I just love the rings. 'Cause it's like, remember when they had revealed like the PS4 in like 2013? They showed like, here's all these like little cubes, and it'd be a sort of preview to Knack. Like here, look at all the cubes, and they can fill the volume, the space here.
Mhm.
And it feels like that, but gone horribly wrong. like here's all the rings we can put on screen at one time. It's like, oh no, I thought we tested for this, guys.
Yeah.
The console's on fire.
I thought we were supposed to turn off the visibility on those. I thought it was just a funny joke. You actually wanted just bombs to shoot out rings you can't use? What?
The camera perspective changes for some reason.
Shout out to the first person mode when you throw the fucking bomb rings.
For years, and I don't understand.
And mostly shout out to when you leave first person mode and the camera just sweeps overhead of you for no reason and like almost passes you before giving you control back.
I didn't even know you could go into first person with tails to throw bombs.
Oh yeah, it's completely useless. Don't do that.
That it's completely useless is the mantra of this game. But
so
yeah,
we saved Sonic, and Sonic, it takes like there's an awkward like they didn't edit the time like when the whale figures out, oh, they closed the gate, I have to fucking go to the thing. Good.
but you eventually get out and you have to fight the first boss, Egg Cerberus.
No, you skipped the first mock speed segment. The little bit.
When you have to chase the actual egg copter thing down the beach, and literally you're just running at top speed at things.
Man,
I would take this level any day over
the fucking Crisis City. Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck that.
But we'll get there. Oh, we'll get there. But yeah, we catch up and we have to fight Egg Cerberus by climbing on its tail and then onto its head and having it run into things that may or may not cause it to hurt itself. I charged at numerous things from across the map and it just kind of glided along the edge. So,
or like completely just bucked and reversed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I guess we'll go this way then.
Yeah, for listeners, if you aren't playing this game with us, picture like the Bane fights in Arkham Asylum, but you're like riding Bane and you have to like ride him to the thing that will make it blow up or whatever the hell. Except the game never tells you this, and and you're not sure if you're doing it right because he won't register, and sometimes he will.
I think if you've played video games, you can assume like I'm on him, he's bucking, I should probably steer him into something, but it doesn't tell you what those somethings are.
Yeah. Like
And
sometimes you can do just the wall, sometimes it's a statue,
That's the
sometimes
problem.
it's
completely
nothing.
inconsistent. Like you think it's one thing because you did it once, but then you try to do it again, and it's like, no, actually. And you're like, well, why not? And then there is no conversation. The game just makes no effort to tell you where to go after this.
Oh, it works this time? Cool. I also encountered some of those situations in in another boss fight we have coming up, where just things sometimes worked and sometimes they didn't. But we rescue Princess Elise, and Sonic and her go on a romantic stroll through the grassy meadows.
Oh man.
And
Their relationship is mad awkward.
Well, first they find that we gotta.
Oh,
when
we
you combine
escape
your
with
power
her.
together. You can walk on this sand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the desert.
By generating a force field, apparently lets you walk on sand.
Of positivity and love.
Yeah.
Sweet,
And, like,
sweet,
it's weird, he's running.
bestial love.
He's running endlessly after he saves her, and she's just in his arms, and like she has like a weird like cuddle thing that's happening, and I'm like, my dude, he's a hedgehog, like he's like 3 feet tall. He's very clearly there's nothing human about him, and he has a bunch of friends who are also hedgehogs that just live in this world full of people, and I feel like whatever you're thinking about this dude isn't gonna work.
You never know. Love will find a way.
Idea. But if I'm taking guesses,
Opposites attract.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything specific.
You know, now that I think about it, Sonic from the new movie, the original design, it's the result of Princess Elise and Sonic's courtship.
so that's Sonic like the third, Sonic the second.
Yeah. So that's
Sonic
what happens.
Sonic Jr. That's what we need, Sonic Jr.
He's excited to meet Cranky Sonic in the next movie. Is there anything specifically? Like, it's a bad level, but is there anything special bad about this one? Because I feel like Wave Ocean is like the realization of what you're up against. In this one, I feel like it's just bad because the sand.
Well, I really hate the trend of the desert. I think the desert is a great example of things just happening. Like the way, like you can, and it happens in Wave Ocean 2, but Dusty Desert, just lots of branching paths that lead nowhere. Like, there's a lot of ways to go particular places, and like none of them matter. And like you really don't even know about them until you miss them. And I have a hard time understanding how these levels were designed, and I really didn't notice it until the desert level.
Please be excited for the rest of the game.
Like, I have no idea why there's a set of launch pads over there. Like, how the fuck would he even know to explore, to think about getting over there?
Man,
they're just over there for some
Jarrett's
reason.
already breaking the game. He's already figuring out how the game works and what's going to happen.
I especially like, and I can't remember if this situation happened to me on these two levels, but hitting a bounce pad and being flung to an area, but it collides wrong, and I just shoot off to the side and I die. It's like, what just happened?
Yeah, that happened to me.
I didn't touch my controller.
I think there's like a half pipe or something in the desert you roll down, and if you hit the edge, you just go careening off into the sand and die. I'm like, okay.
Oh, so that's how it's gonna be, eh, Sonic? Okay.
That could happen to you at the first mock speech. I'm surprised it didn't happen to you. Because that
it didn't happen to me in the first one. It did happen to me in the at Crisis City, like several times, several like 1,000 times.
But after we escape the desert, we have to fight Iblis Trigger Boy, or the pronoun spewer, Silver the Hedgehog. In the second
that fight is whack too.
Yeah.
He just like can endlessly like combo you, and you have no idea why. Like that's the first time I fought him. He literally just walked up, did his like telepathy thing, and the time it takes for you to recover from it, he's already next to me doing it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and heaven forbid he throws you into a wall, but the ring bounces off the wall and back into you.
And not into.
So you'll collect the ring before he can throw you again and kill you. So I literally had like a 5-minute long thing where he just kept chucking me into the wall. I lose my single ring. It drops into me, and he throws me into the wall over and over and over again. I'm like, oh my god, why?
Yep.
It took me forever to realize like you can't even just charge at him. You have to wait for him to basically try to do the thing and miss you, and then hit him.
Or while he's charging up and like holding things in the air, you have to like roll and kick into him or something. It was
like once you know what to do,
it's like super easy. But like
as like when you make I've never made a video game in my life, but you would imagine in a boss fight in these types of games, you'd be like, all right, there is a moment where we let the player try to figure out the behaviors of this enemy. Immediately, 2 seconds, you walk up to that guy, you're down the wall.
Nope. Flung into a wall, you're dead now. You're like, what just happened?
Especially if it's not like, and some games just outright just tell you like, don't do this, don't do that, and this game makes no effort to do either. Like, try to educate you in a gameplay way, or just straight up tell you. It's just like, no, you'll get it. Which is then coupled with the fact that A won't get it, and the mechanics are so broken that he can literally just touch you and then just catch you in an endless loop that you can't get out of.
Heaven forbid you try and use the air dash or the air attack that you've used on all the other enemies in the game.
Oh yeah.
He'll just catch you automatically, so you have to use that one move that you never really used before.
Listen, man, you gotta use your jump strategically. It leaves you wide open for attacks.
Remember when you slid under that little brick wall and rescued the girl? That's how you have to attack this boss. What? That makes no sense. No. And like we said before, the camera makes this fight worse because heaven forbid you want to like look behind you or see when he's charging up. No, it's just audio cue. There's no lock-on button. What is this?
And, like Sonic or Silver himself is also pretty fast, so he's moving not at Sonic speed, but pretty quick, faster than your fucking pan can catch him. So he's just behind you the entire time, at it like right outside and right in your blind spot of the camera. So you really just gotta hope he's like not in range.
Yeah, and his reach with his he's telepathic, so he picks you up with his mind, of course. Let's not forget that. I mean, as all silver hedgehogs do.
Mm-hmm.
He has some cool glowy gloves and spiky hedgehog hair, and he hurls things at you with his mind. But eventually we manage to stop him, and he gets a few cheap shots on you, but then you get yourself up, and it's like, I have to go to Eggman's secret base. So you have to do this, who's the captain of the guard?
Oh man!
Mission.
Well, we get that. We forgot that we mentioned that Amy has introduced final.
Oh yeah, she throws
that.
herself.
Absolutely not.
Amy? And then she says nothing else, and there's like a weird, zoom in on her face.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
That
okay. You're just
like,
assuming I know who Amy is.
And Sonic can escape because reasons.
Please tell me how you felt about define the actual command. Well, here's the thing. I know where to go for most of these missions. Are you guys having at all trouble walking around the open world and just figuring out who the fuck to talk to?
Finding the dude with
the little boys,
blue.
Finding little boys was the worst.
You don't even have to do that one.
You don't, and I did it because I assumed I needed the money to buy the next item.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and bought the next item, and I was like, I already had the money, so I wasted all this time. But I mean, I did the job. I did it in the time allotted, but I spent I swear half the time looking for the last kid because I was like, I've been fucking everywhere, and all these parts in the map look the same, so I have no fucking idea where I am right now.
And heaven forbid you can't. Of course, you can't expand your mini map, or they're not on the mini map. So
the soldier thing, I lucked out because I just assumed the dude who was standing in front of the stairs was him because that's how this game is not going to puzzle me in any way.
Yeah, for that one, I was just like, I want to get done with this game as soon as possible. So I just had a game FAQ up. It's like, the guard you're talking to is the guard you need to, who's the captain. It's like,
of fucking course he is.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Why not?
That makes, in this game, it makes total sense. They think they're being clever. Okay. And just touching on one more time, I know I mentioned this briefly in the opening. Good God, these NPCs are ugly. They're bad.
Hey.
And there are so many just NPCs standing around, and that game still feels so fucking empty.
Yeah.
None of you are doing anything except staring at nothing, and there's just so much space between you and that other dude, and I just don't understand.
Well, I guess if the guy next to you, all he did was I'd probably stay away from him too. But yeah, it's so empty and flat and generic. It's worse than generic. Another game that came out in 2006 was Final Fantasy 12, and that was on PS2. And everything about that looked better.
There's NPCs in a city that feels like they live here.
Yeah.
Cities feel crowded.
Yeah,
they don't just mumble at you.
In 3 different pitches.
And there's rewards to the side quests that are consequential in some way.
Yeah. Imagine that. But
and shout out to the fact that there are 2 different currencies, both rings. One is for buying things, and one is for not dying in the world. You can earn rings that you could spend money with, that you can spend on items by having lots of points and having lots of rings in the field. They use, the terms are just interchangeable, but they're not really.
So, could you use those silver or gold tokens for anything?
No, they're just there for fun.
They're just for the shits and giggles.
Yeah, they're like the moons in Mario Odyssey. I've been playing that game.
Okay, so I can't trade them in for to end the game faster.
No.
Sorry.
That's unfortunate. That would be a good bonus. That would be a good collectible.
Are you done?
You just need to collect 10 of these silver things, and you're 100%. You're good. You can go play something else. Go outside, have some fun. And speaking of fun, we go to White Acropolis, which we get our first boarding section.
Do we go straight to White Acropolis after the...
We go through the warehouse to kill dudes to find Knuckles, because Knuckles...
Yes. That was great. So that one's great, because one, it's another empty area, but you talk to the guard, and he's all like,
don't come in here. And you just jump over the fence and no one does anything about it. They're like, all right, I guess you did.
And that's the strange thing, like, you talk to the guard, he says you can't go in there. In other times previously in the game, you'll have guards blocking an area. It's like, you can't get in here until later.
Yes, exactly.
You can't jump over them in those cases, but because there's a solid gate here, but there's an opening up top, you can jump through that one. It's like, this game doesn't know when it wants to break its own rules, and it just makes it a clusterfuck.
It almost doesn't even know. It's almost like multiple people are writing the game, and none of them talk to each other.
Yeah.
And then Knuckles is all like, here, I got this fucking card. And
yeah, take that.
Voiced by Yugi Moto from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, Dan Green.
So he does something, and then you blow up a bunch of robots.
Knuckles gang.
Oh, nice.
And then you leave that area to go to like the cave where the White Acropolis is, where the secret base that apparently everybody knows about, so it's not really a secret.
Which was guarded by like bright pink laser beams.
Yeah, and then some robots that you also destroy, and then the laser beams are just gone, and everyone's like, yeah, I guess you can go to a secret base now. And I'm like, well, it's not a secret if all of you know.
Well,
how come none of you done anything?
Don't you have to like smack or tweak that like I'm just gonna call them clitorises, because they're just like the little orb clitoris-like things you just run into and they boing back and forth and you unlock a door or something. You have them in the Acropolis too.
Are they? Oh, I think you only see them in the Acropolis. Like, there is no switch to pull.
Oh, there isn't?
To open that cave door.
Okay,
you
it's just
kill the robots and then it's just open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then some kids are like, you should go in there, I guess. It's dangerous, though. And you're like,
everyone's talking about Final Fantasy VII snowboarding. Let me tell you about Sonic 06 and the snowboarding in this video game.
It's the worst.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's intense how bad it is.
I especially like how it tells you how to jump and then it doesn't work.
And the physics in this game are incredible, because you can be moving at like half full speed and then jump off a ledge and just go flying through the air like uncontrollably, or you could stop suddenly and not be able to turn around or move at all.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't really know how to stop. Like, do I just jump in place? I can't, because jumping doesn't work. So I guess I'll just like turn into this tree until the physics just knocks me straight and I fly down this.
You can snowboard up a hill.
Yep. At the same speed you're snowboarding down a hill with no consequence at all.
I like how you never know quite what will actually do damage to you.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you'll run into a tree. Oh, nothing happened. Oh, but you'll hit like a little snow pile and you'll lose all your rings. It's like, I don't get why that works. How that works. But okay.
And like, you can jump, and if you jump correctly, you can hit like a rail and grind, but you have no control over how to reach that rail. So you had to have known the rail was going to be right in front of you when you leapt off the edge of the cliff, but you can't look further ahead of you or move the camera in any way that'd be helpful. So literally you just jump off the ledge and hopefully you land on the rail below. Otherwise you just hit the ground.
Yep, or heaven forbid you like, I feel like you have to start your jump before like 3 feet before the ledge, because if you try and jump like at the ledge, it won't read, so you'll just fall down a hole and you'll have to start over. And heaven forbid you snowboard past a checkpoint without actually being able to hit the checkpoint, and then you just do the whole level over.
Yep.
I did that. It wasn't
great.
fun.
After the snowboard, there's a lot of like missing checkpoint, because at a certain point in this area, like when Sonic can run around for free after like Tails, you play as Tails a little bit, and that's the
More
part of the game
fake
where
fake ring bombs.
Fake ring bombs. Blow shit up. If you're diligent enough, you can break the game and just fucking go to the end of it. But
Yeah, because it's basically like open world at that point. You
Yeah,
kind of,
exactly.
if you can dream it, you can do it.
You see that corner over there? You can clip through it.
Just shake a lot, you'll get through it.
Yes. But yeah, like you said, Jerry, it just becomes over. Like, here's just this open space. Go fucking anywhere. I don't fucking know, because it's just, like checkpoints randomly and like laser walls.
There's like no real directions.
Mhm.
Like you run in circles like 3 times and suddenly a door's open. You're like, okay.
And like once you see
That
the
works.
objective, the camera doesn't show you like the fucking like, hey, this fucking. There's a cliff at the end of this.
Oh, yeah, that one got me a bunch. That one got me a bunch.
Hey man, you should definitely run to that objective. Oh shit, there's a cliff. Oh, I didn't tell you. My bad.
You're fine. Oh, you skipped you didn't get the checkpoint? Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's
Well,
weird.
here you go. Oh, you lost all your lives? Oh, we're just gonna throw you back to the character screen.
Yeah. Once you kill the robots in the warehouse again, and through the cave, come back to me and remember this.
Oh
Yeah,
you
and don't forget the we'll throw in the snowboarding level again for good measure, because
Yeah.
you like
I
that one.
forgot you do have to start all the way over if you die there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
do.
Checkpoints
time.
don't matter if you didn't save, and you can't save in any of the levels. So like you basically can save in town, and that's
Mhm.
you basically have 5 lives to make it from town to town, town bit to town bit. It's real great.
It's a good thing. Yeah. It tests your patience and your resolve,
Mhm.
and it really is a good indication of how stocked your liquor cabinet is. Because if your liquor cabinet's not stocked enough, there's no way you can beat this game.
So we get to Dr. Robotnik's snowbase, and he's there with Elise, and it's a trap.
Shocker.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which Knuckles was like, "Yo, this is a trap," and Sonic was like, "I don't give a fuck," and just went over there anyway.
And we hand over our blue Chaos Emerald, which I think was Elisa's pendant at one time, and then grew in size, and now
I
it's
had to check
giant.
more books with that one. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
don't remember. Like, I know she gives him a thing, and she's like, take care
Right,
of it.
'cause
He's
she's
like,
all like,
okay.
Yeah.
Take this.
But did she ever give it back to him? Or he ever give it back to her?
I
No.
don't think so. I think that was
So
it.
so is it just suddenly a Chaos Emerald now?
Yes.
Or did he just have one and then no one talked about it until immediately when Dr. Robotic needed it? We're just supposed to assume, like we're supposed to assume who Amy is in his her relationship to Sonic. We also have to assume he just has a Chaos Emerald.
It
Which
is
are
a Sonic game,
super
so
magical thing, so
That's the other thing. Like for a reintroduction of the Sonic world, like it just assumes you know like who Knuckles, Tails.
right.
I mean, if with this being a new game, you'd think for new players, for a Chaos Emerald, you would make the one Sonic's
Would?
carrying green, and not blue. But you know,
Or at least explain that it's like, yes, it's clearly just a MacGuffin to
Yeah.
move the plot around, but if a Chaos Emerald is important in some way, that Robotnik needs it to like send motherfuckers back in time and start the apocalypse, give me a little bit more exposition about what a Chaos Emerald is.
yeah, it's like with this Chaos. Yeah, that's what happens. Robotnik gets the blue Chaos Emerald and then flings Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails forward into the apocalypse.
I do like that Sonic gives it up with like a little struggle. He's like, all right, fine. Like he did all that work to get to Robotnik and not even fight him over it. He's just like, fine, take it.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing about Sonic games. They really don't keep track of just how fast Sonic is at any given point. Like, at sometimes he can, like, freeze time and jump between rockets and all this stuff, and sometimes it's just like, well, I clearly can't run up that wall and get
They're
him,
just too fast,
like,
man. I don't know how
10
to get
feet
you.
from me, man. Okay, here's the magical MacGuffin that rips open a hole in the space-time continuum. You got me.
Guess I'll just hand it over. Sorry, princess.
Yeah. So,
Crisis City.
yeah.
Crisis
It is
City.
the
We-
most, it is iconic enough of a level that it got remade in Sonic Generations. in the video.
Well, before we get to Crisis City proper, because we will spend a lot of time on Crisis City, when we go back or go into the future, for whatever reason, Shadow and Rouge is there.
Oh yeah.
Hanging out, yeah.
And you're just like, Shadow? We have to use chaos control so we can go back to our home. Not touching at all why Shadow is suddenly in the future, because the only people that Robotnik sent were Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails.
Listen, man, this is a 3-part story.
And I love that Sonic clearly knows Shadow and Road, and no one again, it's just these two characters that everybody on the screen knows, but you have no idea. Like if this was for some reason your first Sonic game, yes, that's Shadow the Hedgehog. He's a black one, I guess, and they know each other, so that's cool. And yeah, here's a Bat Lady. I guess she's also cool. I guess she made a little quip about being a thief that you would never know unless you knew who the fuck she was. Or watched the cartoon,
Knuckles
I guess.
Of sexual tension.
Yeah, like this is a lot of like character development for characters you don't know.
And like you have to work together, and it's like, you sound like a bad guy, but you're a hedgehog, so are you a good guy? I don't know what's going on right now. But yes, Crisis City. Fuck it. Fuck it with a rusty iron. That's on fire.
Yeah, they're in Crisis City.
Is it that bad? I'm broken, so I don't even know.
Yes.
The very beginning of Crisis
Generations more.
In the very beginning of Crisis City, or not the first scene, but like the second transition scene, you fly through a building basically, and they're supposed to land on a rail and start sliding. If you touch the controller at all before that happens, you will fall off that rail and die.
Yes.
And there's no way to know. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't even see the rail you'll miss. You'll just miss it. And it's incredible. Like, I have no idea how the fuck that happens. Like, this is what I realized. Like, man, no one gave a fuck when they made this game.
No. I did.
Like, at all.
I nearly shed a tear when the game started in the initial area with the pipes and whatnot, and I realized you could just not touch the controller and you would just keep going down the entire way.
Yep.
It was great.
Don't even have to play it, really.
Yep.
There's a lot of sections. Man, before we end this checkpoint, I need to give you some rules about
Some
this
hot
world.
tips.
Yeah.
There are so many ways to die accidentally in Crisis City that it's borderline ridiculous. Like, I want to write someone and be like, yo, did you realize that like the edges of all these like half pipes you made are basically just razor blades that just kill you?
Yeah, that you'll just go up on the side and then you'll just boop off the
over.
Oh,
and there's nothing on the bottom. It's just danger.
Okay.
The voice lines that Sonic, just the little quips he has, are like the same line 4 times. There's that tornado's carrying a car.
I heard that line. I never want to hear that line again.
There's like in every Sonic game, there's like sections of levels where like the kinetic energy takes over. You just start bouncing off of shit and you can't really touch anything. And it's great to see it happen because it happens in such a section where it like bounces you through a building, and you have literally no way to control where Sonic lands in that building. Because he just runs immediately onto like speed pads and is shot forward. But there's like 2 lines of rings like next to you.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, how the fuck was I ever gonna reach that? I can't. It's impossible to get up there.
It was
just
after that building that I hit the jump pad or the speed pad, and I like, without touching my controller, I hit the top of the wall and just fell, and I died.
You just died.
It's like, what?
It's like, is this game trying to prank me? Like, what the fuck?
How'd that happen?
Very much like, can you imagine that section? Man, this party is like separating into 4 parts. I'm realizing now, Crisis City is probably the longest level we played so far. Can you imagine that E3 demo? Because this Crisis City was one of the big places they showed off, the areas of the game they showed off. Like that whole bit with the, like, it's supposed to be really cool where he's like jumping through the skyscraper's glass breaks and the frame rate slows down, and like Jarrett says, he gets on the pad and in a cinematic camera facing him, completely skips the fucking rings.
It's like you never could. It was just like the game letting you know that rings are in this world, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not for you, but they're for someone.
They're for the sad soul that comes after.
And this was
Again,
the
foreshadowing.
hyper dashing mode thing that like killed me. because you're running at hyper speed, I guess, but from a tornado that's throwing cars at you from behind you.
But sometimes the camera changes and you're facing Sonic and you see the tornado, but you can't see the things in front of you that kill you.
Right. So it's like the cars that are coming at you randomly can just land on you and kill you. And you have no way to avoid them except hopefully you just knew they were going to land in front of you and you ran around. So you picked the right path, right or left. Or the camera switches completely and
your controls switch, I feel.
Yeah. So hopefully you just know when to jump because you can't see when to jump. You just gotta feel in the force, I guess.
And then there's random pipes and like another perfect example of you have no idea what things will kill you. Because boxes, they won't kill you. Sometimes rocks will kill you. Cars will definitely kill you. Will a pipe? Will a shipping container? You don't know.
Or if you jump and you're jumping so fast you can't control yourself in the air. You can just like literally just jump off the map by accident.
Oh yeah, all the time.
If you jump and hit like a box that wouldn't kill you otherwise, if you just ran through it, it'll bounce you off of the level. And you're like, what the fuck? I just wanted the rings inside you, dude.
Oh yeah, and then there's robots and those fire phoenix things just chilling and gotta dodge those, and sometimes they'll push you off the map. I especially liked when one of the first times the camera changes and it's facing you and you're running towards the camera. There was just a hole in the concrete that I ran off of. It's like, oh, didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been cool.
No indication that it would be. Just there it is.
Or the trails of rings that you're just supposed to know are in front of you.
That you just watch pass by you.
It's like, cool. Oh, okay.
And again, if you die here, you have to start all the way
from the beginning.
Yeah, that happened a lot to me. I rage quit this game a few times because of that. And even the last time when I finally got it, I went through 7 lives. And I was like, I'm about to break my TV. So I would love to watch a documentary that dives into how this game got released.
It is fascinating. It is one of the most fascinating things. I was telling Jarrett, like, we were doing input, and I was like, this was the game when I bought it when I was young. I was so excited for it. It was the game where, like, my worldview sort of shifted. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
That life isn't fair?
Nobody knows what they're doing, really. Sometimes shit just goes bad. Video games are not magic. Video games are made by people, and sometimes just shit goes bad, and there's nothing you can do about it, and your boss is just like, fucking do it. Fucking do it, motherfucker.
We got Christmas. You just release it.
Just go. And it's like, how do we live in a society like this?
And like with the new generation of games, like the fact that Microsoft and eventually Sony let this game on their platform in the state it's in blows my mind.
And again, like Jarrett, you guys are not the big Sonic fans. I am. And so like the meme of Sonic is like, you guys don't have much of context, right? It's just a joke. It's just a meme. But like, you're witnessing right now, it's like, how does a company let the thing that they were able to build their fucking whole empire around fall to such low heights? How do you do this? This is like worse than Fallout 76. What are you guys doing?
Oh, exponentially worse than Fallout 76.
This doesn't feel like there was any QA at all.
No.
Like, this is like the first draft, and they're like, fuck it.
This is like super pre-alpha, like, do we have the player controls, like, actually working, or like I don't even want to say working because they don't work, but if I press this direction on a controller, will Sonic kind of do that? Okay, he does. Ship it.
There's no like they get the basics wrong. Like,
yeah,
you can't get, like, there is no confidence in when you pick up the controller and do what the game tells you to do that it will do it consistently, and it has nothing to do with what you're doing. It's not like when you play like a fighting game and the inputs don't work because you're not putting it in correctly. Like, I can walk forward and jump, and Sonic might not jump. He might not jump the same distance or the same speed or the same height every time I push the same button, and it's super weird.
Yeah. Well, coming from a few games ago, we played Ori. A few of us played Ori and the Blind Forest. a fantastic platformer, but there were platforming segments that I found rather difficult, but I always felt like it was my fault. Like I was at fault for not jumping at the right time, things like this. This game, I don't blame myself. I blame the game. Because of those exact reasons you said. It's just, I don't know what the game's gonna do.
It really is like life is unfair sometimes. Like sometimes you don't know that the police officer is gonna fucking pull you over for a dumb thing, whatever the hell. You don't know that your coworker is gonna fucking like, I don't goddamn know, spill coffee on your fucking shirt when you walk into work. Like, just life comes at you sometimes, and you just gotta deal with it. And that's
I feel like this one is like your best friend from childhood that's really seen you through some rough times. You start a brand new school year, and the first thing he does is kick you in the nuts and laughs at you as you're on the floor crying.
I guess we're not going to be friends. That's what you feel when you put Sonic 06 in. I guess
no, like, you're a dumbass, and you're like, maybe we can still make this work. Haha, that was a joke, and you fucking go through it for the whole goddamn story.
Yeah, he puts his hand out, pulls you back up, and he kicks you in the nuts again, and starts the whole cycle over. But next time, you'll be friends again.
Sonic 06 is weird because, especially as a person who's definitely not a Sonic fan, yeah. I've had a hard time my entire life identifying what is good about Sonic.
Yes.
And it's not like yes, I do enjoy just the meme of making fun of Sonic, but for most platformers, I can identify what people like about this and what's good about it. I get it. I've never really gotten Sonic, but I at least hold out this idea of like a respect for the people who like Sonic is a thing, right? And it's a thing for a reason. So people get it. Somebody understands this. There's a group of people, a community out there that gets Sonic and like Sonic in a particular way. I have no idea then how the people who I would assume get Sonic the most, the people who fucking make Sonic, make this, because this has nothing that I can identify that people like about Sonic at all. Like,
there's no chili dogs.
I have no, I think Sonic as a character is just terrible, and this is like the worst I've ever seen him. And he's not really, I guess, all that different. It's almost just like, it's just Sonic. Someone just took all the Sonic lines and just put them in this game and with no context at all. They're like, what would Sonic do? I don't know, say something aloof and run away. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a college project, like a freshman class project.
It's like fan fiction.
Yeah.
Someone has a Sonic, someone really is pumped about Sonic, but what if Sonic wasn't in a world where he's rescuing furry things from the forest? What if he's in my world? Or what if he's in Final Fantasy?
Yeah. And what if this princess really had the hots for him?
Yeah, that's not gonna be awkward at all. What if this princess is just trying to nut? No, I haven't, but it's there. It's clearly there. It's being built.
Oh man. It is a fascinating video game, and it's a bummer that its full story will never probably be told. It's clear that it was when we're at a point right now we're talking about working conditions and the fact that people crunch and make deadlines. Yeah. This was that game. This is the absolute worst fucking scenario.
It's weird to see that scenario produce a game like this, because that's what you assume it produces. What it normally produces is a middling game that feels empty in certain places, but it's still competent in some way, like Destiny. And this is not that. This is just a shit show the entire way.
This is the complete physical manifestation of the feelings.
And I went into it thinking, no joke, it can't be as bad as everyone says.
It is.
Exactly. I have never been so wrong in all my life.
It's funny, but it's not funny. Also, how?
Right. And you can only really know if you know. But
exactly.
It's important to know that if you're listening to this, and you're thinking about playing along, if you haven't already done it, I have to just advise you not to. Yeah. It's not worth it.
No.
You want to know the story. You think that the exaggerations of this game are exaggerations, and they aren't. When people say this game is fucking horrible, they really mean it. And like, it's not even fun to play horrible. It's like hard to play horrible.
Yeah.
It's like fascinating, like in a scholarly way.
Right.
Like someone needs to sacrifice their time and study this.
I need to know how this can happen. But if you're not that person going to figure it out, you don't need to play this game. There's something better to do, I promise you.
Exactly. Like, if you are watching this, you will see up in the corner to our left gameplay of my playthrough of this. And I assure you, I did not stage any of the pitfalls or any of the crazy glitches or any of the random camera freakouts. That was me just trying to play this game. So please take it from what Jarrett was saying and from me. Watch a Let's Play or just listen to this. Don't invest in this game.
Right. And like again, I told Jarrett before, like this came at such a weird time. Like,
can
you fucking imagine if this game came out now? Like, it came out like in 2006. The next generation of consoles just started. YouTube is about 2 years old. There's not really any social media. There's like forums, right? Like, there's conversation, but not enough to build such a giant culture. Like, and so the way information travels now is like speed of light. Can you fucking imagine this game now?
Yeah.
It would be incredible. It's like what?
And it's funny to laugh at now, years after the fact. But I would have been devastated as a longtime Sonic fan, like you were saying, Jurge, to be so hyped for this, and then this is what you get.
It's weird. It's weird. Like you said, this could never happen again. And there are games that have been bad and have been turned into sort of ironic memes thanks to the presence of the internet. Like Deadly Premonition is one of those games that is like bad, but we've kind of made good because we all have a sense of humor about it. But this, like, I don't know, like, would this be a Deadly Premonition? Like,
I don't think so. Deadly Premonition is hard. You could tell.
At least someone cared about that game at the very least. This feels so slapdash that like it's hard to like at D4, which isn't like a bad game necessarily, but it's another game where we were like, all right, well we have memes, so we can make this work. And like the internet couldn't save this game, like.
No.
I'm just glad as someone who I'm glad as someone who like knew it existed. Like at the time when it came out, I was like, man, how someone needs to know about this. Like we need to fucking be talking about this fucking video game, man. Like this needs to be a thing. And it's like now it's 100% a thing that we all know it exists. Haha, that's funny. But there's more that lies underneath. Yeah, it's a thing. And we're only in the beginning of the game. We're not even like a quarter way through.
I have to know.
This is like not even halfway through Sonic's story.
Not even a quarter.
I have to know, is Crisis City the same for every character?
All right, I am going to let you know what the rest of this game looks like right now. We are going to revisit the same levels that we are going to play on Sonic with each and every single character, and even then we will revisit it with other characters such as Rouge or Knuckles or whatever within Shadow and Silver's playthrough. That's what this
is. We made 6 levels. Let's just play the shit into that.
That's why, Jerry, I'm like, you unlocked the terrible secret. The reason why Jarrett can find things that he is like, why is this here? Is because each fucking area is like sectioned off for each character.
It's its own track for a different character.
Yes,
that's funny. That's the
that's why.
So I have to look forward to 3 more fire tornadoes hurling cars at me? Is what you're saying?
You don't have to do the mock sections. That's a Sonic exclusive. But you will.
Thank God.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's like really stupid fucking climbing sections with Knuckles though. I feel it in my bones.
Oh man, dude, holy shit.
Is it? Do I get that really cool rap song telling me about
the Sonic Adventure 2 raps
from the Halloween Town knockoff?
Silver has like a Euro pop like dance track.
That makes sense actually.
With auto tune.
He looks like a Nordic goth.
So I'm going to give you some rules of this game, okay?
Okay.
Like Jarrett said, there are multiple sections in this game where you don't have to play it, right? So you know that the loops in Wave Ocean, if you stop, if you try and go the opposite direction or try to lose speed on purpose, Sonic will defy gravity, and you can walk your way slowly down the loop.
I know I've done that by accident.
Yeah.
Yes, if you jump onto like sideways areas do them quickly and you just like homing attack them, you'll stick onto them like a magnet, and that'll be incredibly crucial for this next level we're about to play.
That's so
also have
dumb.
Knuckles areas.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yes, so if you think you can manipulate this game, again, break its rules, you can survive faster. You don't have to go through every speed track, because as we've learned, even when the game automates itself, you cannot trust it.
No.
It's true.
75% of the time. If Scott, you're looking up a wiki, so you'll probably figure it out. But by the end of Sonic section, there is a part where you can completely skip the entire level when you buy one of the gems that allows you to like turn small. There's a glitch, or if you turn small and try to jump repeatedly, you'll just fly across the entire map. And that's how you can beat the final level without killing yourself.
Oh, of course. That makes sense. Small jumps.
That is my advice for the rest of Sonic's area.
Okay.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
thank you. Well, speaking of, we should cut it here. I think this is a good segue into the next hell checkpoint. The next layer of hell, the seventh circle, the next circle of hell, will be completing Sonic's story and then getting up to the Sonic encounter with Silver. So that will be the next episode you get to enjoy us killing ourselves
about.
with. Yeah, and crying about. It'll be awesome for you all. Anyway, on to brighter things. Where can people find you, lovely people on the internets? George, where can people find you?
You can find me at jcruzalvarez26.
Cool. Any articles or things coming up for you that you want to plug?
Right. So Mike and I are sort of launching a new thing that'll be up maybe by the next. I hope by the next time we come around here on Video Game Book Club. We obviously have input with me and Jarrett and the deceased Logan Wilkinson every week, every Friday, on podcast services and irrationalpassions.com. But yeah, that's all I have. And yeah, we're working. It's mostly me working on some projects with some of our staff here.
Sweet.
But yeah,
It's good
exciting.
stuff. Jarrett, where can people find you on the internet, and what do you have cooking?
I'm at Jarrett John on Twitter. You can just follow the cries. Pretty easy to see. Today, a feature went live about my friend Pedro, which launched today. An action shooter for consoles and PC. Besides that, yeah, input every week, and probably something else
You
that
got
I'm working on that I forgot about.
you got Slay the Spire stuff.
Yeah, there's a Slay the Spire piece in the works, hopefully for next week.
Busy over here.
Yeah,
we
we
busy.
got
We got
some
work to do.
stuff going. We got some stuff cooking. Very good. And everybody, you can find me on Twitter at SolidSnake120. We got some big video game streams coming up over on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/Irrational Passions. I know Mike's going to be playing some Crash Team Nitro Kart. I think
I'll be there.
along with some of us, with Jurge, I think Quinn, and maybe Logan.
Yes.
Next week we have Mario Maker 2 coming out, so expect some streams and good times with that. If you want to submit some levels when that's out to us to play and rack our brains against, be sure to
A weird game that's just coming out now, huh?
yeah, should be good. You can tweet those to us on our Irrational Passions Twitter at IrrationalPod. For myself, you can look forward to a Trails of Cold Steel 2 review coming up soon, along with an At Games article on their new Ultimate Legends arcade machine. So look forward to that. But until next time, everybody, once again, our next checkpoint will be to complete Sonic's chapter or his story and then get up to the Sonic encounter with Silver. And until then, everybody, hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, your day, your afternoon, and we'll catch you all next time.